Welcome back to the Midweek Mini episode, guys. Today we are chatting about things we wish we knew when we got into all of this, when we started. We've learned the hard way over the last few years with some points and miles topics. And so we want to share what we wish we knew so that you don't make the same mistakes, or so that you can look forward to something that maybe you didn't know about and is a perk that you can get excited about. So I hope this is a really, really helpful episode for everybody.
Yeah, for sure. I've already been noticing people kind of giving cautionary tales like, this happened. I really wish that I had known that this could happen, or I missed out on this. I wish I had known to take advantage of this. And so this is definitely some stuff that we want to share, but we also think there's probably a lot more of these out there. For now, I'm going to say it's a 2-part series. So this is part 1. We're going to share some. We want you guys to send some to the Facebook group or message them to us, email them to us at wonderlandonpoints@gmail.com. Wherever you want to drop them, we'll be collecting them, and we'll at least be doing a part 2 with, your personal anecdotes about why you wish you knew something. And if it grows past that, well, I guess we could just keep doing more parts, and that's fine too. So these will probably be coming out after our summer mini series, which, by the way, if you don't know about that, there is a link in the show notes where you can submit an amazing summer road trip or, a little flight destination that helps us remind people about domestic budget travel. It doesn't have to be all these big, long, extended European vacations. We want to share those with you. I even got a message today asking if it was okay if someone submitted 2 topics. And I said, yes, please submit them separately so we can stay organized. But yeah, as many as you want. If you've gone multiple cool domestic places, don't just pick one. We want them all. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So this will be after that. So we've got time, but send us your, I wish I'd known.
Yeah. And I do want to say, before we get into these things that we've learned, that we wish we knew, I don't want this to cause you to have, decision paralysis and not move forward in your points and miles journey because you feel like, I have to absolutely learn everything before I even get started. There's no way to know everything. Stuff is always changing. It's always evolving. So just get started and you'll learn along the way. But because you listen to this podcast, you are going to be ahead of the game. So let's go, Joanna. Give us something that you wish that you knew starting out.
Okay. Well, me and lots of people wish that they knew that not all points and miles flights are free to refund. Okay. Now, there are a lot domestically. Like, we really enjoy Southwest and United and Alaska and American. You can, if you book those on points, you can cancel those. You can get your taxes and fees back. You can get your points back. And it's lovely. And people seem to believe that anything that they book on points and miles is just fully refundable. You could just grab that Virgin Atlantic flight or that Aer Lingus flight and you're good to go. You can cancel it whenever you want. Unfortunately, you need to read the terms, guys, because every airline is going to be different. And those international carriers especially usually charge a cancellation fee of some kind. I know for a fact that Virgin Atlantic is $75 per, and I also just paid $50 per to change Aer Lingus flights. So keep that in mind.
And you know what? Hotels too. Because even in the Hyatt app, I book hotels all the time in the Hyatt app on points, then I'll cancel them. I just reserve something just in case. And most of those can be canceled up to about 24 hours before I arrive. However, there are some resorts, especially the nicer hotels and resorts. Be careful, because it could say in that fine print that, yeah, you can cancel it, you can get your points back, but only up until like 2 weeks before the trip. And it's not necessarily that 24 or 48 hours that maybe we're used to with a lot of hotel bookings. So do be careful and read those kind of details.
Yeah. And I mean, while we're on the topic of hotels, not all Hyatt places have free breakfast anymore. So people probably are starting to wish that they knew that, because the regular word on the street still is like, if it's a Hyatt place or a Hyatt house, it's got free breakfast. Well, they're starting to roll that back. So just if you've listened to our old episodes where we say that, it's not our fault. Things have changed. Okay? So this is current.
It's always changing. And
You
how
gotta
dare they?
check.
We're still mad.
How dare they? That's our love language.
I know. Free
Rude.
breakfast.
All right, number 2, go.
Okay. This one, I feel a little bit like a broken record, but at the same time, I made this mistake with the first credit card I ever got. And I know a lot of other people, because I get your emails, have done the same thing. Do not add your spouse as an authorized user to your credit cards. I got my first ever points and miles card. It was an Amex Gold. I was so excited. I went through the application and I was like, oh, yeah, of course, I'll add my husband. Like, that makes sense. Of course, we're going to do that. And then later, I realized, okay, that wasn't the best idea. That takes up a spot for him right now in his 524, yada, yada, yada. So if you're listening now, if you've already done it, it's okay. It's happened to the best of us. But moving forward, unless you have a very specific reason, do not add them. And I did have a specific reason with my Capital One Venture X card. So that is the only other card I've ever gotten that I chose to add my husband as an authorized user on, because then he was granted those lounge access benefits that allowed our whole family to get into lounges. So that was very purposeful with adding him as an authorized user. Don't just willy-nilly add people as authorized users. We recently did a whole episode on this, so we won't go into that further. But just keep that in mind. I wish I knew. I made that mistake. It's okay. We move on.
Yeah, it is fully okay. There are like minor exceptions, but in general, don't do it. You could also, you can undo it. So you can get them taken off and they will fall off, and then you will have another 524 space freed up. It's a little bit different.
On the credit report.
On the credit report. It's a little bit different than getting a credit card where it will reflect for a whole 24 months before that space will be available to you. And I think a lot of people, maybe some older people, don't realize that like nobody checks IDs anymore. You can just hand your partner a card and they can use it even if it has your name on it, or you can load it into their phone wallet and they can use it. You don't actually need multiple cards. Everybody can use the card. You can give it to your kid, do it all the time. You can give it to your husband and do it all the time. So the authorized user doesn't have a function unless it's for a benefit like lounge access.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, what's up next? Give us another one. Hit us again.
Okay, all right. So everybody knows about 524. I feel like it's the first rule. Chase will not approve you for any new cards if you've had 5 or more cards in the last 24 months. And that is cards from anywhere. By the way, a lot of people wish they knew that. A lot of people, when they first hear the rule, think it's just Chase cards that they're talking about. Their rule is very specifically everyone. What I wish that I had known is every single bank has different sensitivities. And we're not going to go into all of them here, although that might make a good episode to dig into in the future. But for example, Amex will not approve more than 2 of their own cards in 90 days. So they only like to see 2 American Expresses within a 90-day period. Capital One only likes to see 1 of their cards every 6 months, which is very stringent in my opinion. And here's a not fun one. If you want to refer your friend to a Capital One card, you better check and see if they've ever earned a Capital One sign-up bonus before, because if they have, you will not get referral points. Capital One is like, oh, they're not new to us. You didn't refer them. They already knew we existed. You get nothing.
You get nothing.
Rude. Oh, also, apparently Citi will deny your bonus if you've ever had the same card bonus, because they have real strict language. I don't have Citi cards yet, but their language makes it sound like you could have gotten the card 5+ years ago. Doesn't matter. No more bonuses for you on that same card.
Yeah. Everybody talks about Amex's once in a lifetime language, but Citi is also kind of in that club. So that is a bummer. Okay, I've got one. I wish I knew that all points were not equal. And it doesn't take long to learn that when you're first starting out, you see welcome offers advertised for various cards. You think, oh, that one's 60,000 points. But that Hilton card over there is 175,000 points. Why in the world would I get a 60,000 point card when I could get a 175,000 point card? But those are very different points. They have very different values. So don't just see the big number and think
Mhm.
that it is a one-to-one correspondence to the other bank's cards.
Amen. All right, number 5, I have lovingly titled "No Doesn't Mean No."
Oh gosh. You did not hear that from here. You did not hear that from here.
This applies nowhere else in life, guys, okay? But if you get denied for a card, it does not always mean the end of the road for you. Now, it does really depend on what your denial reason is. That's probably also another episode for the future. Because, if you've had too many card applications, well, sorry. But if you have like too much credit extended to you in one place, there are things you can do. You can close out some of your credit, give it back, take it off, call reconsideration and say, "Can you please, sir, can I have some more?" That's an Oliver quote for my musical fans. Reconsideration is a beautiful thing. I don't particularly love a phone call, but I will if there is a possibility of getting a card that I was told I was denied for. And part of that is the hang up and call again. Because no truly doesn't mean no, because one person might tell you no and the next person might tell you yes. So you do have to do research, but if you have some of these denial reasons that you feel that you can talk your way out of based on your research, give it a couple shots. You never know.
You never know. Okay, here's another one. And this is a big one. And this is a big question that a lot of people do have when they're starting out. But it's just, how do I stay organized? I wish that I knew. And we've talked about this in depth over the past month because
Mhm.
someone reminded us about the Card Pointers app. And we were like, you know what? You're right. Why haven't I
Mhm.
been using this to keep myself organized? When I get new cards, I can put it in there. It will just have all my offers in one place. It will remind me what card to use. So much of this does take a little bit of organization. Maybe not with the first card or with the second card, but after a couple years, when you have a lot of cards, you really
Mhm.
need a way to keep yourself straight. And so Card Pointers has been a great resource for that.
For sure, because Chase has a nice, like, fancy, like, where am I in my bonus tracker, but nobody else does. Capital One doesn't. Amex doesn't. Let me tell you what Card Pointers has. You put in the card and you put in, like, whatever your specific bonus terms were, and it gives you a little slider. And anytime you spend money, you can go in and move your slider. Let me tell you how helpful that is because okay, story time. Sorry, this is supposed to be a short episode, guys. But story time is important. I almost missed a sign up bonus because
No.
yes, I remembered it incorrectly. For whatever reason, when I got my Blue Business Plus, I was thinking that it was $4,000 of spend. It was, in fact, six in 4 months. Maybe that's where the four came from. I was looking through my Amex account and I was like, how much have I spent? Do I seriously have to go back through all my statements and like total them up? This is a huge pain. So instead, I just messaged Amex and I was like, hi, can you tell me how much I've spent and what date I hit my bonus and when that might be coming and all that kind of stuff? And they were like, well, the terms of your bonus are that you were supposed to spend $6,000. You have till May 29th to do that. And I was like, can you tell me how much I have left? At the time, I still had to spend $2,200 more dollars. Luckily, I had a tax payment coming up, so we solved that problem pretty quickly. I'm very close now, and I still have about a month to go. But if I had been using Card Pointers back when I got this card instead of just the last month or so, I would have been on top of that This is why, for a million reasons, that I like card pointers so much, because it's helping me stay organized in a new way, especially those cards that don't have trackers. Because at the beginning, I never in a million years would have missed a sign up bonus because I was thinking about it all the time. But as you go, it doesn't possess your thoughts all the time like it used to. You're not always like, what card am I going to get next? Like it just is not on your mind as much, and you're not hyper aware of how close you are to hitting your sign up bonuses. At least this has been
Yeah.
my experience.
On the same note as that, make sure that you put your new cards on auto pay, even if you plan to pay them off weekly or several times a month well before the statements are due. Go ahead and, as a backup plan, put it on auto pay,
Mhm.
and then you can still pay on the cards, but just in case you forget, because the more cards you have and they're not fresh in your mind anymore, and maybe you forgot that you do have that one recurring payment on that card you're not focusing on so much anymore because you already earned the welcome offer,
Mhm.
just do yourself a favor, just in case. Go ahead and perhaps use the auto pay. Okay, last one for today. Something that I truly do wish that maybe this isn't something I wish I knew then, but I wish I had the self control, especially starting out when I was so excited and so fired up, although I still struggle with it today. And that is, don't get shiny new card syndrome, because you are going to see offers and you think, oh no, oh no, I have to jump on this when it's elevated. I have to do it right now. Well, maybe it's not the right time. Or maybe
Mhm.
you don't. Do you have a plan for that card?
Mhm.
Especially
Mhm.
with hotel cards or airline specific cards, the co
Mhm.
branded cards that don't have flexible points, that don't have transfer partners where you can decide later because you have tons of options. But I think that sometimes we get a little carried away and we get that shiny
Mhm.
new card
Mhm.
syndrome. Have you ever had this happen? Because I do have one. If I
Oh
go
yeah,
back
yeah,
through
yeah.
my file, I can think of one.
Well, yes, and I will tell mine. But first, I wanted to tell. There was this woman online who was just finding out about the Chase Sapphire Preferred offer, and she was like, "Okay, so let me get this straight. Like, I apply, I refer my husband, he applies, and then basically over the course of the next couple of months, we have to spend $10,000. Like, that's really stressing me out. How is everybody doing this?" And I was like, "Look, like, this might not be the time for your husband. 100,000 points is so exciting. Both of you getting that is so exciting, but there will be other elevated offers. You should never put yourself in a stressed out budget position, spending more than you need to spend just because of this shiny offer." So that is like, definitely, please know how much you can put on credit cards every single month and use that information to decide what spends you can hit. Do not inflate your spending for this hobby. That is a death trap. But yes, I highly regret when I started the hobby before fully understanding the glory that is the companion pass. I really excitedly got a Southwest Rapid Rewards card at a time when it was not even close to companion season. And by the time
That's
companion
tough.
pass season came around, it was like, there's no way, this doesn't make any sense. I'm not gonna, yeah. So yeah, I was really, really sad that I didn't know to wait to get that one at a more strategic time. Was it the end of the world? No, because I have one now and I'm enjoying it. And, now I know better for next time, because it's never a done deal in this hobby. You can correct a lot of your mistakes. What is your shiny card syndrome regret moment?
I had my husband sign up for an IHG card at a time when it offered 5 nights free. And I just thought, okay, we're going to come up with a trip to take, or I didn't know at first that the 5 nights couldn't be combined easily consecutively. I did find out before I applied, but I thought, oh, it's okay. We're still going to be able to use this. But they have a points cap on them. They're not like Hilton free nights where it's pretty much unlimited the value. So it's only really cheap hotels. They can't be combined super easily. It just didn't end
Oh
up being a great
man.
offer. I know. Now we have been using them and they're coming in handy. Like this month, my husband and my son are going to go to one of the major golf tournaments down in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's going to be a really fun weekend. They're using 2 of the 5 nights. They also used a night over when they went to a national park in Ohio. So we are using them. They're coming in handy, but was it worth a 524 spot in the
Mm.
end? I don't know. It really didn't end up being as good as I hoped. So I kind of regretted that one.
You know what? Thank you for sharing. This is a safe place.
Yes, snaps, snaps.
Absolutely. Okay, guys. Well, send us yours. What are your regrets? What are your I wish I had known? We are a safe place for you as well. Come join us in the Facebook group. The link is in the show notes as always.
And if you think that it is the right time for you and you have checked yourself for shiny new card syndrome, use our links. We have some affiliate links in the show notes. We'd really appreciate it. If it is the right time that you would use one of our links would mean a lot to us. Or if you want to try card pointers to help keep yourself organized, we have a link for that too. Our link will always have the lowest possible price right now for card pointers. So use that link and that also gives us a little affiliate bonus. And we appreciate that so much.
All right, guys, thank you so much for spending some of your Wednesday with us, and we will see you here on Monday.
We're ready to go on a summer road trip with you guys. That's going to be next Midweek Mini.
Woo! Bye, guys.
If you enjoyed this show today, please consider writing us a review or clicking 5 stars wherever you listen to your podcasts. And please subscribe and follow along so that you never miss an episode.
You can follow the podcast on Instagram or YouTube at Wonderland on Points Podcast. You can find me on Instagram at Family Travel for the Win with the number 4.
And you can find me on Instagram at Points to Wonderland.
If you're thinking about getting a new Travel Rewards credit card, consider using the links in our show notes. Using our links helps to support us and keep our podcast going so we can provide you with all the latest tips and tricks when it comes to traveling on points.
And if you aren't sure which card is right for you, shoot us an email at wonderlandonpoints@gmail.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you here next time.